So that's how they got started. I had already been in the community because I was going through my stuff and a lot of trauma that I was going through.
Yeah.
And I was in community with a friend of mine. And it's funny because just across the street, we at the farm, she worked at the farm. And so I was helping like the unsheltered community and like just trying to give back my own way. And we ended up all meeting up again. And when Samuel passed away, my cousin, we just decided to just keep his memory alive through day one and through these services that he's, trying to help our young men. And so we came up with a mission statement, and we just started to just do little things, whether it's serve our community through the unsheltered or whether it was mentoring young kids. And our first event, we tapped in with Mesa.
Okay.
And Mesa had been recently released from prison, and I'll let him tell his story. But since that day, it's just listening to Mesa's message that day, we just started to keep collabing with Mesa. And then he's not so much a day one, but he's always affiliated with us. And so, but we've all come through the same journey. We all have the same vision for our community. And so we just been collaborating. And the more we started to do these things for the community, we started to get in these spaces. The Young OG Perspective kind of saw what we were doing, and then Kecker Lake saw what we were doing, and all these places that were community advocates started to invite us to these spaces.
Yeah.
And then and here we are basically. So that's pretty much what we do, is use our life experiences. And a lot of us have been in prison. For the most part, we've been in prison. We've been in these dark places, and we've been using our experiences to just help young kids make better choices, more positive choices. And so we've been invited to all these spaces, and it's just been an amazing experience. And it's just been going and going, and now we're at a place where we're self-funded. So what we do is everything is paid for by us, our own dollars. And so and it's starting to get to a point where we may have to go nonprofit and get more grants so we can help more people. And so like currently we're sponsoring a couple young kids, in sports and things like that. So,
and I don't think that has anything to do with it being soft or anything, but why am I pay me more? You want me to do a harder job, pay me out. You know what I mean? So really, like, as far as the labor force I see, it's about competition. You want the workers to come in through and and do what you need them to do. You then need to be competitive with your wages. But as far as these kids out here, you see on the news and stuff that that sometimes, I think, a term when President Trump won the election, they called them like snowflakes or whatever. And I don't know how true that is, because the news seems to take like piece here, then exaggerate it, make it look like it's everybody. These kids right now, like from just being home, they're fighting an uphill battle, because you have a lot of people that are in power, a lot of people that's in places of authority, politicians and stuff, are trying to really like brainwash them and give them, they're trying to manipulate them into being a certain type of kids, instead of, allowing them to just be kids. We have all these things that, like he used the word toxic masculinity. And there's a level of truth to that stuff, but we go so far to the other end where we want to make them feminine, because if they show any type of aggression, always toxic, and they're being just boys, it's toxic. Like, we have to find a balance when we're just not going so extreme one way or the other, because what's really confusing these kids? You have somebody teach them one way, and you have somebody telling them that's not it. And at the end of the day, the generation behind us, the fault doesn't fall on them. The fault falls on the generation before them, because you have the responsibility. You know better to teach better. So if you're not doing your part, you can't really blame these kids for ending up how we want to end up.
this is where I'm really into. and some shit. And I think I've been in construction for 25 years. I've run like you, literally fast, since 1998. And construction is very toxic. We know this, right? There's a lot of bullying that goes on. And I have been through the realm just like you. I started as a laborer, became a machine operator, became a foreman, superintendent. So what I have noticed is that this generation, our generation, I come from a hope generation where it was just soon after civil rights. And so we never, and if you think about what happened in the civil rights, they started to kill. Anytime there was a leader in place, they killed him, whether it was with Black Panther movement. And so Crips and Bloods were formed to try and, because all our leaders were getting killed. But then it became toxic because we were, that generation just of men were indoctrinated by, like Mesa said, the generation before. So our generation never took full advantage of the civil rights movement and never jumped on there and just kept the fight up because they started killing off the people that were making a big difference. But these kids now, they are the woke generation. And these kids ain't taking no shit. The millennials, the Gen Zs, they're not taking no shit. They're very honest with who they are. And it's least in all aspects of our society, I think. You're looking at the construction. These kids, like Mesa said, they know, they get it. They're like, nah, I'm not doing that. But not only that, it is that older generation. We're coming from a generation that had unregulated emotions, and I have to agree with when we talk about toxic masculinity and being balanced. I am learning that the example are, if I always say this example, two boys, 7 years old, playing with each other. They love each other. They tell each other I love. They hug each other. When they get about 13, 14, someone tells them, you can't tell little Timmy I love you no more. And that is, now little Timmy's competition with you. You guys are competing for a job, competing for a woman. And that patriarchy that we live under, where men are disproportionately in power, and we're not balancing our men. So young boys are growing up either too soft or too aggressive. And we're not teaching our boys that it's okay to be balanced. It's okay. If we know that all humans are half man, half woman. And so if we are not tapping into our femininity, and femininity to me doesn't mean being a little bitch. It's okay. It means being in tune with your nurturing spirit. But then also, you've got the masculine part where if somebody fuck with you, you ain't taking no shit. But then right after, your ego is always for protection. And so I think that is what I try and do when it comes to mentorship, is try to teach these young men the balance. That you can tell someone fuck you without saying fuck you. You can love on you can tell your bro I love you without being emasculated and feeling like you're queer, I guess, as they say, or queer bait as our generations. And I think that's where we're at with a lot of young kids. So many kids are not tapping in to what true masculinity is. And true masculinity is, being honest with who you are and telling, like your body at work, telling about, look, explain to me why I got to go dig this hole. Explain to me why you're yelling at me. So I try to tell young boys that speak truthfully, and it's okay to express your feelings, but it's also okay to tell them off of it. Yeah, fuck you. Don't talk to me like that. So I think a lot of it is we have to find balance, and that's where we try and teach as day ones, because of our life since we've been in dark places. So I can come from a space of like being very toxic, but I also I grew up with a loving mother that loved me a lot and taught me how to be in tune with that feminine energy, the fear in her eyes. And it shook. And I had to realize that young kids now, they want to be inspired. They don't want to be told to do. They want to be inspired, and they're watching you. And so when I saw that my daughter was really hurt by me raising my voice, it really changed how I parent and really how I approach young people. And so that for me was just, she does not, it really fucked me up because she just started to ball. And I was raised around our parents.
Yeah.
They that was the norm, was they yelled at you and you just took it. But now when just having my own child to see that, and she was hurt by my voice, and it really fucked me up. And so I had to, change that approach. And so that, for me, that's a lot of it was me trying to, because I felt, okay, I can reach young people. I don't have to yell, so that was it for me.
We kind of,
I work at I run facilitate a men's group meeting every week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm a youth coordinator. So the work that we have been doing, the community has been seeing, and they have been inviting us to sit at these tables. Common Thread is another example of some of these youth groups that we've been involved in. And it's just like what Mesa's doing. That the life experience that he gives is raw, but it resonates. And so that's been our defining, our template, basically, just to speak truthfully and let our life experience, because kids, like he was saying, we had him speak at the Odyssey House, and there was one kid that, when we were all talking, this kid he could tell he was hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time Mesa got done telling his story, that kid was slumped up in his seat, and he just reality check came over him, and you can see it in his eyes, like, dang, that's what's going to happen to me. And so, you can see it, and so we've been very fortunate. You think your life experiences don't mean nothing, but it touches people in a certain way, especially where it's needed. So
it's very important. These kids that are in these spaces, they have a certain mentality. They live a certain life. So when somebody comes to deliver a message, one, it has to be somebody they respect. And two, is a lot of these programs that they had before, they come from a space of judgmental. Like, you guys are doing so bad, you guys are doing this, you're fucking up your life, and so on and so forth. And they come from a space of, like, preaching and telling these kids. Like, for us, we don't really have, like, a defined approach, because, like, for me, how can I judge you for what you're doing when I've been 10 times worse than you? So I can never be someone to come and say, hey, you're doing this, you're fucking up, because I've done those things. And I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their life. I'm not even telling anybody how to get their money, how to hustle, or whatever they need to do to survive the environment they're in, because everybody's space is different. Everybody's going through their different shit. Our job, our objective is just, look, this is what I did, and this is what led me. This is where it led me. If that's okay with you, then you continue doing what you're doing. But if you think like where I've been isn't a place you want to be, then maybe you should take a second look at what you're doing. And I think that's the approach that we take. And I believe that kids appreciate that, because we're not speaking to them. You know what I mean? We're just sharing our experience and hoping they can get something out of that. And I think it's been very effective, because we've had some pretty good results with some of the kids that deal with.
And kids, they're smart. They know a fake when they see you. And so I think the more we get in these spaces and the more we talk to these kids, they can tell. And like Mesa said, we just give them our experience, and they can process it the way they can. And then, like I said, that young gentleman, he was hardcore until Mesa got done talking, and the reality came in his eyes. So, kids can spy, can feel your energy and your vibe. So, if you a fake, there's kids that they'll catch, you know what I mean? I had a great support system, and so I think I think once your freedom, once you really think about your freedom and what it takes, and you really enjoy your freedom, that was one of my main things. And plus, I'm a heterosexual man, and I like being around. Does that make sense, bro? And I like being around, where access to. Go ahead, say it, dude. We're not kids here, but I mean, but for the most part, I think, just knowing that somebody's gonna tell you when to eat, when to rack in, rack out, things like that. I think that it's not hard for me to stay out, if that makes sense. And so, like, and then the hustle, you just find new ways to make money, and I think what makes it, entrepreneurship is big for us. And so, and then when you've had money before, and the risk it takes to get it, you're okay with maybe going somewhere route. So,
Well, just maybe not as much money.
yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, for me, I ain't never had no money. I wasn't.
That's facts, though.
Yeah.
Me too.
I was gangbanging. All my stuff was violent. Because we were at war with another group, and we were just trying to outdo each other. And I was one of them dudes that, when I'm all in, and so. For me, I think it's easier for me to transition because, like I said, like, you were asking, like, I never had the money. I ended up going to prison for robbing a bank, but it was more like the thrill, and this is what we're going, because it's the life we're living. But I got caught up because, of shootings and all the rest of it. So when I came home, this is, keep it real, when I came home, there was a lot of people that was worried about if I was the same guy when I came home. But for me, it's just, that life was hectic. I've done everything, like, the reason I'm able to move on because I've done everything that was expected of me. Like, there's nobody that's out here in the street that can say that I fell short according to the life that I live, according to the codes that I buy into. But for me, it's just like, I don't want to have to go somewhere and watch over my back. I want to, before we would go to the state fair or the mall, whatever, just to go look for somebody to get some shit to get into, but not realizing that, we're ruining for other people's family, for these other kids that came to enjoy the space, and, I wasn't here for any of my nieces and nephews that were born, and they play a role in making my transition a lot easier because I want to be able to take them places. I want to be able to watch them grow up and have fun and not have to worry about that. And I'm grateful, and I'm only a small part of it. I got to give the credit to where it's due to these guys that's been home before me, to those guys that I used to beef with, to my homeboys. Like when I came home, when I went to Cambodia New Year, I got dudes that ran up on me that I don't recognize, but they recognize me, and I'm just like, oh, you Mesa? I'm like, damn, man, what did I do to you, right? But they stuck out their hands like, hey, man, I'm so-and-so, man, we used to funk back in the days, but I'm not on that time no more. We good? Now, like, how can I not respect that? You know what I mean? So to all those dudes that we used to beef with, man, it's all love, like, for real. Like, I appreciate you guys coming on and wanting something better for your life and want something better for your kids, and I'm with the program. I just want to continue it.
And I think,
You don't think about that at all, then?
I don't.
You just think about the way it happened.
Yeah, the way it happened, and I don't
consider yourself lucky anyway.
Yeah, I consider myself very lucky. Like I said, I grew up in crack epidemic in the 80s, and I never thought I'd see this day. I never thought I'd see 51. I never thought I'd see 21 because I was going so hard back then. So, and then I think, my past don't define me and my mistakes don't define me, but I don't think I'm the same person integrity-wise, character-wise, and my beliefs that I stand on, I probably wouldn't. I don't know if I'd be the same person because my experiences don't define me, but my struggles have made me be a certain way as far as like how I treat people and how I, whether I demand respect or the way I walk my life is based on my life experiences. So I can't really play that what if, because it's, I try not to. I don't even know.
Mesa?
Is it, man, I have no doubt I'd be dead right now. Or I'd catch a case where I would never be able to make it back home. Because the way I was back in 98, like looking back, I was a handful. And I hurt a lot of people. So I know that if I didn't get locked up, I would have continued, and it would have just got to the point where people weren't going to run away from me no more. And just, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck it, we just get to deal with him. And yeah, so like for me, like a lot of those years that I spent there, like as much as I hated it, like there was never a time where I was happy that I was there. But, just reflecting on it, I had to admit that, being locked up might have saved my life, because I was just out here a mess, man. And, I don't ever like to live in regrets, so I don't ever, go back to, oh, I wish I would have done this or would have should have done that. Those things are done. And like he said, these things that we've done, help us become the person that we are today. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that, I don't feel like bad about, some of the people that I've hurt, especially my parents and my brothers and sisters, not, being there, for them. But I wouldn't do it over again, because I really love the space that I am at here today, with the way that I think now, and the things that I want, and all the rest of it. So, yeah, I accept it. I don't want to do it over again, but I accept it. I'm gonna keep pushing.
Mike Gilbert's vision is we want to create a curriculum for the youth. So so that we're kind of actively working on a curriculum, so that way we can teach kids and give kids a different path.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then obviously to create this curriculum, that'll set us apart, and then we can actually acquire funds. We can make a living doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really the future for us, is to create a working curriculum and just keep being fostering and mentoring and just helping young people make more positive changes and better choices.
Do you have a rough number of how many events you guys have participated in, or?
Yeah, I think since the past year,
With meetings every week.
yeah, we have meetings every week, but we've done our I know we partner up a lot. Like this week, this coming week, we're doing Mesa's tattoo grand opening.
Oh, that's right.
And then, but we've done the back to school, we've done the trunk or treat, we've done things like that. So I would say we've probably done like 10 events the past year. And like I said, it's self-funded, so it all just depends on how much funds we can acquire. But lately, we have been getting invited to sit at these tables with other community groups, and so it's been helping us push our movement.
Just look up my name, MESARITH. The series that gets the most hit is Welcome to the USP. That's me sharing my life story about, for the last 2 decades that I spent in some of the most violent prison in America. But also, my BMA brand. I got my old clothing line. BMA is Baddest Man Alive. Like, check out my website, baddestmanalive77.com. And this, in a couple of weeks, on March 9th, just like Solo said, we have a grand opening at our tattoo studio, Evolution Tattoo SLC. And the purpose that we are opening this tattoo shop is for people like me that have come home and can't really find a space. I have friends that know how to tattoo that are great artists, but they couldn't be able to get into shops because for one reason or another. So me and my wife decided to why don't we create a space for these people that really want to turn their life over and do something with their life. And if you're a tattoo artist and you're trying to get into a spot, man, hit me up on Evolution Tattoo. SLC. But, I'm going to emphasize one thing. When you come through that door, be about your game, understand what we expect. We're going to be willing to help you, but you got to be willing to help yourself.
And March 9th, it's a community event, so everybody pull up. We're going to have performers there.
Oh, nice.
And then we're gonna be selling plates. And it's a great way for everybody to just tap in with the day ones and Mesa and the amazing work.
We all get to work out together.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, we got like 6 artists, and that's credit to Doomy, and
You gonna be there?
shout out to Diamond.
You gonna be?
She's one of the performers.
Hell yeah.
Diamond is our videographer. I mean, the whole event, these two put it together. Like it's pretty cool. We have sponsors, and everybody's been coming through to help us. Your Exterior Pro, Solo and Dez from Day One Utah, Sonny from Sun Big Barbecue, Radiac, Ben, he get a bill of stage for us.
Oh, nice.
Like, listen, man, we got a lot of people that supporting the cause, so come out, just get yourself some food. We're going to be roasting a pig. Yeah, we're going to have some egg rolls and some other stuff. Yeah, so.
And Cambodia.
Yeah.
So it's going to be quite the...
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we just want everybody, like, our thing is unity, man.
Yeah.
Like the people that's going to be there, they're going to be white people, Mexican people, black people, poly people, because this is the people that live in our community. With us right here, we don't have no separation. You live in our community, man, you're the homie. So come on through, man, and kick it.
Hell yeah. And by the way, just reminding everybody, that's Day One, WON. Day One. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You can catch the show what is this called? How did it get so good? I still don't remember. So I just changed it. So how did it get so good on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube? You can catch me at Angel Severa on Instagram, Angel Severa on Facebook. That's my last name, Cervera. Thank you so much for coming.
Man, thanks for having us.
First time, hopefully not the last. You guys come back and maybe tell me what.
We hope to see you on the night.
Yeah, sure. See you guys. Until next time, this has been How Did It Get So Good? Thank you. See you guys.
Can I get a picture of this?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, thank you, Angel.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Bro.
That was fun.
Let me just turn everything off.